I'm in Zapato, catch up, always to stop our reaction. No incantation, bust that juju, handle Kyuju, Kuritsugi. I'm the type to gas like fire, shaka, I choose you, jaka. I betrayed the steering table, each liars, the real bike stabber. Day 13, I'll be with PBTs. When I'm in the streets, really, Pinocchio's more free. They see what I wanted to see. So I'm kind of time I release. I didn't realize we catch my feet. I had not played in life, like shit, washing up the seats. I ain't got to sleep, I feel my baby. Let's go sleep with troops. Let's make it snake. I'm in Zapato, catch up, always to stop our reaction. No incantation, bust that juju, handle Kyuju, Kuritsugi. I'm the type to get like fire, shaka, I choose you, jaka. Train the steering table, each liars, the new bike stabber. I bet you thought this song was over. It was so far. I'm that's my life experiment. We're watching the shit over. I need differences, I collected measurements. Why did I give him my heart? She's not dead. If I move to the touchy, I never suggest it. Focus against me.
Merci. Oh, I'll try it.
I turned them to leftovers, just left them there. How many times did I send my demons like you and how we left them breathing? What style was Rango for use? None. He's no longer breathing. Moonwalk on any up block or you know, drop off, the first back, drop off, you know, I search when I woke up non-stop. Now this was just speaking, squeeze that to the left, drop that sunblock. They go take the drop on me when you hear this instrument. Welcome to my humble abode. Last time it's looking close, and I'm thinking, I'm thinking, I'll be talking slow. Walking for touch, bro, I need the family out there, end of the show. I didn't check it, I was smoking, you need to give me a slow. Just with praise, say it's time me, I play. Let me get this straight, I'm the demon, but he used to skip that play. I need to bend the sun for the only day. Do history, making the weekend, but I can't have bloodline, I'm not pushing it, friends, work, and they think I'll be on relate. Moonwalk on any up block or you know, drop off, the first back, drop off, you know, that's why I woke up non-stop. I'm just supposed to speak this, squeeze that to the left, drop that sunblock. From my doctor to a patient, I was doing patience, it's regular decisions.
You Denny or whoever you is. All lies will
They couldn't get enough of his razor-sharp jokes, flashy suits, and that fearless energy that made real-life struggles sound hilarious. Still, behind all those laughs, Cat was building something deeper.
that have a conversation that's not being had.
A reputation as the guy who wasn't afraid to say what others only whispered about. While most comedians were out here chasing Hollywood love and late
Conversations are being had by I wish too that it was a religious leader of some kind having this conversation, or somebody's calling
night showing nights, Cat was busy exposing the game. By the mid-2000s, everyone knew. This man wasn't just telling jokes. He was spilling truths. Cat didn't hold back either. He flat out called Hollywood out for exploiting black artists and treating independent liars.
And that's why I had to call you program. Sandra did the same thing. Sandra told you when you had to make a mistake, so he didn't say
It's like rebellion. He said the system only lifts up the ones who play nice, while anyone who dares to speak up gets shut out fast. In interview after interview, Cat claimed he'd seen the inside. The secret handshakes, the fake smiles, and the hidden power players deciding who shines and who disappears. This wasn't
checking out the internet and calculations. When first watching,
just comedy anymore. It was war and machine. On stage and in interviews, Cat Williams' words hit different, sharp, fearless, and soaked in conviction. He wasn't just cracking jokes, he was sounding alarms about how the system really worked behind the curtain.
and the Tyler Perry can't play a man the same they like. They play good women, and I believe that the best actor should get in the best role.
People laughed, sure, but a lot of them could feel the truth in what he was saying, that chill of realization hiding under the punchlines. But when Cat started exposing Hollywood's darker sides, the media didn't clap.
My name is Money Mike, player.
Instead of facing his claims, they tried to flip the narrative, painting him as unstable, hard to work with, or just plain crazy. Even Saturday Night Live jumped in, mocking his style and mannerisms over and over again. But Cat didn't see that as harmless fun. He saw it as a hit job. He said they were trying to make a joke out of him so fans would ignore the real truths he was calling out in plain sight. Then came the celebrity clashes that had everybody talking. Cat went straight at Steve Harvey, accusing him of stealing from comedian Mark Curry, a claim that shook the comedy world.
Everyone, Sean here from the 2XKO team. And I'm Michael Sherman, East Coast Director for 2XKO. The year coming to a close. We wanted to give y'all an update on some of our plans for competitive play in 2026. But before we get into it, there's some we want to mention first. 2XKO will be coming to console in January of 2026. That includes Xbox Series S and X, as well as PlayStation 5. We know how much folks have been waiting to hop in on console, and can't wait for y'all to get your hands on it soon. You can add 2XKO to your Xbox or PlayStation wishlist right now.
Since early access kicked off in October, we've seen over 1,500 community tournaments pop up all.
Said Harvey wasn't original at all.
Hold on, I'll be back.
Focused on protecting his TV empire.
Offered him $50 million and he turned it down. Who gonna turn down $50 million? Now I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that verge.
Than pushing real comedy. Those comments lit up every radio show, blog, and stage talk, because Cat was clearly done playing nice. Even with people calling him confrontational, others were saluting his courage. Cat saw himself as holding the line, keeping comedy honest, while
Martin tried to put me in my first dress. You know, we get in that office and this whole like Big Mama's house too. Oh, all I did was say, I won't punch it up so it's not offensive to real.
Well, everyone else was selling out for a check. His critics called him reckless, but his fans? They saw a man standing alone, brave enough to say what others only whispered in green rooms. By the late 2000s, Cat Williams wasn't just another comic telling jokes. He was a one-man movement, half entertainer, half truth-teller, and all fire. Hollywood was supposed to be his playground, but Cat turned it into
Every Halloween, I had the same outfit. Every year. I just had a brown box.
into his battlefield. He wasn't just clowning around. He was exposing what he believed were deep layers of corruption, hypocrisy, and backdoor deals. And this was just the beginning of the chaos to come. Things heated up even more when Cat started naming names. Big ones. He went at icons like Oprah Winfrey.
Listen, you're not doing this. We're not going to get a black man. A real.
Tyler Perry and Kevin Hart, and every call-out made his whistleblower image even louder. These weren't little disagreements. They were full-blown public showdowns that had fans questioning who was really running the game in Hollywood. The Oprah situation especially had fans' jaws dropping. Cat claimed that Oprah tried to pull strings behind the scenes to silence rapper 50 Cent.
You have real problems with people, and your problems are like serious. It's not hard to ever get to a person and really like address the problem correctly. It's the problems that people have with me, they aren't my problem.
Accusing her of using her power to block artists she didn't like. He said her influence went way beyond talk shows, that she could make or break careers from the shadows. Nothing was ever confirmed, but the idea that Oprah might be part of some Hollywood gatekeeper circle had the internet going wild. Some fans even backed him up online, saying they'd seen signs of it too. Suddenly, everyone was asking, was
Oprah coming next? What? So true.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cat exposing real Hollywood secrets? Or was he just stirring the pot again? And then came his war of words with Tyler Perry, one of his most explosive beefs yet. Cat tore into Perry's movies, his casting, and his so-called Medea empire. He said Perry's empire was built on favoritism, claiming that
In our industry, who pays tells you what narrative you're allowed to use. And
talented black actors were getting shut out if they didn't play by Perry's rules. In one joint appearance with actor Terrence Howard, Cat even accused Perry of being insecure and purposely keeping other black talent down to stay at the top. That claim hit hard, especially since Perry was known for helping launch careers. Fans were divided. Some said Cat went too far, but others swore he was just brave enough to say what everyone already knew. Cat's take was simple. The price of success shouldn't be losing your integrity. He believed the industry was suffering because too many people were playing along instead of standing up. By this point, it was clear Cat Williams wasn't just fighting for laughs anymore. He was fighting for truth. And Hollywood wasn't ready for that kind of smoke. The feud that just wouldn't die, that was Cat Williams versus Kevin Hart. A rivalry that kept bouncing back like a bad remix. Cat came straight for Hart, saying that Kevin wasn't
the Monday night in the original script got raped in the bathroom. And that's what Ricky Smiley was on.
Just another funny man. He was a chosen one. Williams claimed that Hollywood handpicked Hart to be the safe face of black comedy, clean, controlled, and easy to market. He even said Kevin was sliding into movie roles that were originally meant for him. According to Kat, Hart's rise wasn't built on hard work alone. It was engineered, a Hollywood product packaged to look perfect while silencing raw, authentic voices like his. And when Hart finally responded, he played it cool.
They don't want him or people like that.
Equal homeowners, it's your realtor, Mark Branson, Mr. DFW. Are you even sure what your home is really worth in this market right now? Listen, Zillow gave you one number, your cousin gave you another, and that pesky investor who keeps sending all those mailers, he just wants to lowball you and make a profit. But now, you're more confused than ever. And that's where we come in, right? We're going to provide you with our FICO Scan Equity Report, right? This is going to be your personalized valuation based on local buyer behaviors and what's actually moving here in the area. Plus, with over 17,000 buyers subscribed to our YouTube channel, actively researching DFW homes, we have a direct line on what buyers are actually looking for, so your home doesn't just get listed, it gets sold. So if you want your free personalized analysis guides, you can click the link below and get instant access for free.
Important to call Law Tigers before your insurance company so that Law Tigers can represent you and guide you through the process and get you what you deserve.
I think it's important to call Law Tigers spirit motorcycle accident because you're already going to the assistance to do things the right way. You should call Law Tigers before your insurance company.
Speaking in interviews, he brushed off the drama, saying he was happy with his career and had no interest in fighting in public. To Kevin, Kat's words were just background noise. But to Kat, that calm response proved everything. That the game only lifts up those who play by its rules while pushing truth-tellers to the edge. Each feud painted the same picture, Kat versus the Hollywood machine. Whether it was Oprah allegedly pulling strings, Tyler Perry running his own tight circle, or Kevin Hart acting like a gatekeeper, Kat saw himself as the last man standing against it all. The more he talked, the more people in Hollywood started to panic about what he might expose next. And if anyone still doubted that Kat didn't fear confrontation, his ongoing war with Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer was all the proof they needed. These weren't small names. They were legends from the original kings of comedy, beloved TV hosts, and faces of black entertainment. But Kat wasn't impressed. Not one bit. He said they were everything wrong with Hollywood, playing it safe, recycling jokes, and selling an image that wasn't real. Kat accused Steve Harvey of stealing jokes, not just from him, but from comedian Mark Curry, too. He even said Harvey exaggerated his struggle story just to sound more inspiring. Kat called that fake hustle, claiming it was all part of how Hollywood rewards image over authenticity. Fans online started echoing those claims, with whole threads breaking down Kat's accusations. Was Harvey truly original, or just good at repackaging others' ideas? For Kat, comedy was supposed to be truth, and in his eyes, Steve wasn't living up to that. Things got even messier when Kat said both Steve and Cedric had privately admitted to taking material, but never owned up in public. That made the feud personal. Cedric fired back, denying everything, saying that if Kat had a problem, he should have spoken up years ago. To Cedric, it was old business, not worth another headline. But his denial only fueled Kat's fire. Every interview, every clip, Kat doubled down, and fans couldn't stop watching the drama unfold. But Kat wasn't hung up on just one stolen joke. To him, this was about integrity, respect between artists and the soul of comedy itself. He believed Steve and Cedric symbolized how Hollywood let certain people climb high off others' creativity, all while acting like legends. And in that system, the loudest, realest voices, like Kat's, got shut out. Steve Harvey stayed silent, refusing to engage publicly. And that silence spoke volumes. Some thought he was being mature, while others said he was just protecting his image. Either way, the feud exploded across comedy circles, turning into one of the most heated showdowns in modern entertainment. This wasn't about punchlines anymore. It was about credibility, power, and legacy. Cat stood tall, saying he'd never back down, not even against comedy royalty. By doing so, he cemented himself as Hollywood's boldest whistleblower, a rebel with a mic and nothing to lose. Whether people believed every claim or not, they all agreed on one thing. Cat was dangerous to anyone hiding behind their fame. Then came another twist. Cat's name started getting linked with Dave Chappelle. Fans saw both of them as rebels who refused to bow down to Hollywood's pressure, but their bond was complicated. Sometimes Cat praised Chappelle as a hero. Other times, he questioned whether Dave's legendary move, walking away from that $50 million Comedy Central deal in 2005, was really as noble as people made it out to be. But in 2024, during an interview on Shannon Sharp's Club Shay Shay podcast, Cat cleared the air. He said, "I respect him for walking away from the money." Cat explained that Hollywood's pressure could break even the strongest minds, and that Chappelle's choice showed true courage. It wasn't about money. It was about freedom. To Cat, that moment wasn't a rivalry. It was recognition. He saw Dave as another warrior who refused to bend, another fighter who said no to a system built to control artists. Fans saw it too. They said Cat wasn't just calling out corruption anymore. He was giving props where it was due. And in that rare moment, two of comedy's fiercest outsiders seemed to finally find common ground, standing tall. But that wasn't the only twist in the Cat Williams and Dave Chappelle story. In later interviews, Cat hinted that Dave's decision to walk away from that $50 million Comedy Central deal might not have been as free as people thought. He claimed that all signs pointed to heavy pressure from behind the scenes. Industry figures who didn't like that Chappelle refused to play by their rules. Cat didn't say it outright, but his message was clear. Maybe Dave didn't choose to leave. Maybe he was pushed out. That question shook fans to their core. Was Chappelle walking away out of integrity? Or was Hollywood quietly forcing him out for not falling in line? Some fans rode with Cat's theory, while others said Dave's exit was the ultimate act of rebellion. The debate was endless. Two legends, one mystery. Then in 2024, Chappelle took the mic at the Hollywood Improv and decided to fire back, subtly but firmly. Without saying Cat's name, he addressed the situation head-on, saying, "I only ever roasted these networks. I didn't say anything about any of these white boys." His meaning hit hard. Chappelle felt Cat was spending too much energy going after other black comedians instead of the real powers that controlled them all. "We're comedians. We don't attack each other," he added, calling for unity over beefs. That moment showed just how layered their relationship was. Both were truth-tellers, both were rebels, but they had different ways of fighting. Cat believed in calling people out directly, one by one, face to face. Chappelle thought the real fight was against the system, not the people trapped inside it. Even when they clashed, both men were still shining a light on the same ugly truth. Hollywood wasn't what it looked like from the outside. Chappelle's 2021 Netflix special, The Closer, stirred controversy for tackling censorship and free speech, while Cat, on his Heaven on Earth tour, kept exposing exploitation, fake loyalty, and hypocrisy across the business. Two voices, two methods, one shared message. Hollywood's a show, and not everything on stage is real. In a strange way, Cat Williams and Dave Chappelle became opposite sides of the same coin. Cat, the loud, raw truth-teller swinging punches in every direction, and Dave, the quiet assassin with jokes sharp enough to slice through lies. Whether they stood as allies or rivals, one thing was certain. When either of them spoke, Hollywood had to listen. But Kat's whistleblower image wasn't just about dragging celebrities. It was about walking the talk. One of the clearest examples came during the making of Friday After Next, back in 2002, the third film in the legendary Friday series. Kat stole every scene as the unforgettable Money Mike, the flashy, fast-talking pimp with razor-sharp punchlines. But behind the laughs, he was fighting a quiet battle no one knew about. According to Kat, the original script included a disturbing scene where his character would be sexually assaulted. Kat refused to play along. He said it wasn't just unfunny, it was wrong. He believed it crossed the line of good taste and had no place in a comedy movie. Instead of staying quiet, Kat pushed back hard, demanding the scene be cut. His refusal forced changes to the script, and the controversial moment never made it to the final film. That choice spoke volumes. Even as a newcomer in a major movie franchise, Kat proved he wasn't willing to sell out his integrity for a paycheck. Years later, when fans learned about what happened, they praised him for standing his ground, calling him one of the few who valued principle over profit. And that integrity didn't stop at movie sets. In interviews, Kat spoke openly about cancel culture, and he didn't sugarcoat it. He said the whole idea was backwards, that it often targeted regular folks or marginalized artists, while the real shot callers stayed untouchable. In his eyes, it was just another trick, another distraction from who actually held the power. Kat argued that if people wanted real change, they had to stop attacking each other and start holding the decision-makers accountable. That's what made him stand out in a time when so many celebrities were quick to apologize or play it safe. Kat didn't fold. He doubled down. If he believed something was true, he'd say it, loud and clear, no matter who got offended. For Kat, comedy wasn't about comfort. It was about truth. And truth, he said, didn't come with a safety net. His fans saw that raw honesty as proof of why he was different, a real one in an industry full of filters. That same energy carried into his Heaven on Earth comedy tour. Every show was part stand-up, part sermon, part revolution. Kat mixing humor with heavy truths, calling out the game while keeping the crowd laughing. It wasn't just entertainment anymore. It was rebellion wrapped in rhythm and punchlines. Kat Williams was never scared to speak on it. The exploitation, the lies, and the fake smiles hiding behind Hollywood's bright lights. He called out the way the industry chewed up its talent, sold dreams built on deceit, and punished anyone who dared to stay real. Through every fight and every controversy, one thing stayed clear. Kat wasn't letting Hollywood write his story. Whether it was cutting out that disrespectful scene in Friday After Next or refusing to bow down when critics circled, Kat stood on business. While others folded under pressure, he drew a hard line, saying, "You don't buy my silence." That mindset made him a rare breed in a world built on compromise. Kat showed he was willing to lose everything, fame, money, comfort, just to keep his voice unfiltered and real. By the time the 2020s hit, Kat Williams wasn't just another comedian. He was a full-blown movement. Fans called him the truth teller of comedy, the man who said out loud what everyone else was too scared to whisper. And maybe that's why Hollywood feared him the most. His words hit nerves that no PR team could fix.
With depression, it feels like every day you're just going through the motions. But what if you could get your go back? Auvelity worked fast. Some saw relief in as early as 1 week. And Auvelity lasted. On average, significant relief was seen in 6 weeks. Antidepressants may increase suicidal thoughts and actions in adults. Your doctor about sudden changes to your thoughts or behavior. Don't take Auvelity if you have a history of seizure, eating disorder, or abruptly stop drinking, or taking benzodiazepines, barbiturates, or anti-seizure medicine. Serious allergic reactions can occur. Don't take if you're allergic to dextromethorphan, ibuprofen, or any of the ingredients in Auvelity. Don't take MAOIs. High blood pressure, manic episodes, serious eye problems, and dizziness can occur. Report all medicines you take to avoid a long-running condition. Don't take Auvelity if you
enemies in every corner of the business, from fellow comics to network execs. But he didn't care. His unpredictability made people nervous because you never knew who he was going to expose next. Even Kevin Hart, his longtime rival, seemed cautious whenever Cat's name came up. And when Eddie Murphy himself commented that Hart had reasons to be careful around Cat, fans took that as confirmation. If Eddie Murphy saw the danger, you knew it was real. The feud between Hart's polished Hollywood image and Cat's raw, streetwise truth just kept heating up. Fans said Kevin represented everything corporate and safe, while Cat was that wild energy you couldn't control. Every time Cat mentioned Hart, the internet went crazy, because it wasn't just about comedy anymore. It was about authenticity versus image. And it wasn't just comedians keeping their distance. Even icons like Ice Cube and Oprah Winfrey were rumored to be moving carefully around Cat's orbit. One clip that went viral online showed Cube talking about how powerful voices make people nervous, which fans took as a subtle nod toward Cat. Around the same time, videos started circulating claiming that Oprah, despite her massive influence, refused to engage directly with Cat's accusations. To his supporters, that silence said everything. Fans online ran wild with theories. Some claimed that Marlon Wayans and Taraji P. Henson avoided him too, not because they disliked him, but because they didn't want to be the next name in one of his tell-all rants. Hollywood's biggest names don't want smoke with Cat, one viral post read, and honestly, who could argue? Cat had proven time and time again that no name was too. Tragedy wasn't far away. In August 2025, devastating news broke. Reggie Carroll, a comedian and close associate of Cat's Heaven on Earth tour, was fatally shot.
And to be honest, this is one of the great medical signs we've gotten in years. But since it is the default, B tier feels fair. This one is still my favorite skin for Venom till date. I love everything. Corners, back tendrils, definitely S tier. This one just dropped a few days ago. Damn, it's already one of my favorites. A tier. I don't care what anyone says. This one looks way too blocky and organized to be a symbiote. Like, why is there so much geometry? D tier. At least this one has some actual symbiote energy. So this gets B tier. I used to love this one, but now that I look at it again, it's kind of weird. So A tier. This one is also fire. Every time I see this skin, I get a bit cheesy with moves. B tier. Season 5. Starting with the default, and to be
And how did it get that brain? How did you choose brain free from the basic line? Are the open world and fight monsters? All-wheeler story events recreated one to one. Each stage is clear and launch a new character automatically. No more spending endlessly on gacha. Feel the thrill of rising from a humble pirate to the pirate king.
I'm fully prepared with everything I need for the Jay-Z documentary. The moment he sent that legal letter, I knew I had to let the world see who he really is. He and Diddy are cut from the same cloth. He just hides his arrogance and control behind a cleaner image. Our feud has lasted 20 years, and I know better than anyone what he's done in the shadows. I even suspect that so-called funeral bouquet wasn't Diddy's idea at all, but Jay-Z acting on his behalf. Back when Nicki Minaj posted that video of him wearing a pink wig, all I did was repost it, and he got so nervous he had his lawyers threaten me. In 2015, Nicki worked her ass off helping him build his platform, and he allegedly pocketed her $7.9 million in royalties. And then there's his fingerprints all over key incidents through the years, whether it's the elevator footage or the guest list at Diddy's parties. He was involved, clearly, but somehow he always walks away untouched. That's what he's best at, pulling strings behind the scenes while pretending to be spotless in public. And now that a corner of the darkness has been ripped open, I'm not stopping. Everything my team and I are doing isn't about attacking anyone. It's about making sure the truth can't be buried by him ever again.
He ain't answering the phone? He ain't answering the phone. It's like it's like billionaire lunch. It's sitting there like, yeah. It's crazy and bunch like this. We here together and we're gonna keep staying together. We're getting tighter.
I'm unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you this year. Yo, I feel like I'm normal again. Get me out of here.
Jay-Z is running for his life after 50 has allegedly leaked what his private correspondence with Diddy has been like. This is not good news for Jay-Z because he's long been alleged to have done some truly horrific stuff with Diddy, and now it's all coming to life.
Sean Carter aided and abetted or just directly involved. It's about to get real tense, and there's a lot of girls and boys who are still trapped inside the machine.
In interviews, 50 said he never took part in Diddy's inner circle. He explained that certain invitations and situations made him uncomfortable long ago, and that distance is why he feels confident speaking now. When the allegations became public, 50 said he learned about them the same way everyone else did through the news, but none of it surprised him.
Jaguar Wright explained that Jay-Z is worse than Diddy. She explained how Jay-Z has done worse things than what Diddy did to Cassie to other females. And she said that she has the scars to prove it. She alleged that at one time Jay-Z attacked her and got it on film like Diddy did. And she alleged that this is why Jay-Z is totally pulling away from Diddy and you don't see him around. And it's been alleged for quite a while that Jay-Z is pulling away from Diddy because he doesn't want himself caught in the crossfire. I mean, you even have 50 Cent at this point talking about how Jay-Z is in hiding while this whole Diddy thing blows over. And you even have these accusations of Jay-Z being responsible for what happened to Cassie White. So I'm going to go ahead and roll you guys this clip of everything that Jag had to say about Jay-Z being worse than Diddy. And you guys let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
Sean Carter is just as bad as the Dipper. I know that for a fact. This is perfect. You want to know what a box kind of feels like going into your skin and gripping you? I can tell you how it feels. Y'all ain't seen shit yet. That Cassie shit, that's nothing. I'm saying Sean Carter remembers everything he did to me, and he's got it on tape.
Choose to lean into it. Every Mazda is engineered to give you effortless control.
I ain't playing no more, boy. I gotta forget. You know what the name of it was?
Too much soul, man.
Too much soul. Yeah,
Too much soul, man.
All right.
You know I was the leader, though. You knew that. Back then, back way back. You know I was the leader.
Go with that shit. You
know
ain't no
what?
leader. How you the leader? It's just us two. How you gonna lead me?
Singing all the songs, you in the back skipping and stuff.
Well, I made all.
Just like it. Think you're gonna be crazy. This is gonna be the one that they give them in the end.
As the investigation grew, attention slowly shifted to Jay-Z. People began asking why he stayed quiet while everything around Diddy was unfolding. That silence raised eyebrows. Some felt Jay-Z's team already knew his name had come up in civil cases and wanted to stay ahead of the situation. Others worried that, even without charges, the damage to his reputation was already happening. Social media didn't help. Rumors about him silencing people raising allegations against him became more rife than ever.
That's actually exactly what Jay-Z's accuser is saying, that even though she dropped the lawsuit, she still stands by what she says, and she only dropped it because of harassment and the fact that she's terrified of Jay-Z. She says that Jay-Z is allegedly bullying her into saying that her accusations were false. In fact, in new legal documents, she is claiming that she was recently approached outside of her home and cornered by two people who told her they were investigators working for one of Jay-Z's lawyers. She claims they tried to get her to sign an affidavit stating that her claims against Jay-Z were false, but she refused.
Bingo also claims the alleged investigators asked her if her attorney, Tony Busby, sought her out as a client and offered her money to pursue false claims against Jay-Z, two allegations she says she denied. He says this alleged confrontation left her intimidated and terrified, wondering how they found her when her identity had remained anonymous in media reports and legal proceedings. He also claims that her parents were approached by two investigators asking similar questions about Busby and her R story. In the new documents she reveals she decided to drop the claim because she was frightened by the reaction from Jay-Z and his supporters. He says she feared she would be publicly outed and subjected to public attacks.
Industry insiders explained that even one criminal investigation could change everything, not just for Diddy, but for anyone closely tied to him. That's why many believe 50's documentary matters so much. It isn't just about one person. It's about how power worked behind the scenes, who knew what, and who might be pulled in next. Commentators also questioned how Diddy stayed protected for so long. Some believe he built influence by surrounding himself with powerful people and controlling information. As rumors spread, reports claimed Diddy might be cooperating with authorities to reduce his situation. One of those deals seemingly involved him snitching on Jay-Z of all people.
Well, Diddy start snitching? He better. But the only thing I'm interested in him talking about is everything he knows about Kathy Coriana White. See, I know what happened for me. Diddy, you know that. You and Jay-Z down in Vegas, how? Claudia. Why don't you just talk about Kathy? That might help. That might help a lot. Kathy Coriana White, Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, died 24 hours after she announced she was going public with their relationship and a baby. Or are you the one who paid the same coroner that you? Oh, Diddy, you should talk.
Now, since the documentary has officially been released, one thing is clear. This isn't just about the past. It's about what happens next. Every new detail brings more attention to the people who stayed silent, especially Jay-Z. This renewed limelight on Jay-Z is particularly important because he and Diddy go way back.
on. But for somebody 30 years old in their 30s, and they dealing with kids 16 years old, 17, 18 years, that's a problem. That's an issue. And now you see that because he's raising kids. And he got a young daughter. I think he got another daughter that he didn't claim, and now he claiming. These cats was doing a whole lot of stuff that people in the industry won't speak on. And then now that you're speaking on it and it's becoming where it's that you can get on YouTube, talk about this, and say what you've seen or say what you heard, you understand, or what you know. Some people look at it being a problem. These cats ain't street cats. They entertain.
Dame Dash, Jay-Z's former best friend, also recently spoke about the serious accusations surrounding Jay-Z. And what stood out to him the most wasn't just the claims themselves, but how people were reacting to them. Dame said he had never seen Jay-Z face this kind of public scrutiny before. For decades, Jay-Z seemed untouchable, especially in mainstream media. This time, that protection didn't seem to be there.
It's just odd to see him in that, in that getting looked at in that way by white people. Like Jay does, yeah. Like I hope that shit didn't happen, but I'm like, damn, they turned the world real. Like people on a certain level have been fucking with him a certain way where he couldn't do no wrong for like 25 years straight. It's the first time he's not getting a pass with white media. Like he can control black media because a lot of them either work or do business with him. But like, Drink Champs can't get him out of this one. And neither can Charlamagne. Because, those are the guys that hold him down no matter what he does anyway. So you got to get to People Magazine and Entertainment Tonight right now. Because they on his head. But the question is why? Like, why now? Because for me, I'd be like, yo, that's so ridiculous. Yo, take that to trial. She's not going to win. Let's get a deposition or something. So I don't know why they get on his head so much. Pause. But I've never seen him in this, I've never seen him in this position. They have to explain himself. Oh, are you speaking? I mean, I didn't even say anything. I heard a piece of, like I said, for me, I like to see y'all doing the interviews when I talk. I thought it was long. For a statement, I thought it was long, pause. But, I think right now, his silence is the worst thing for him. If he is innocent, he needs to let people ask him questions. He needs to be able to say his side of the story, as opposed to let that lawyer talk.
Dame also criticized the decision to distance Jay-Z completely from Diddy. He felt that saying they were never friends was an extreme choice of words and would likely cause backlash.
Sean here from the 2XKO team. And I'm Michael Sherman, esports director for 2XKO. With the year coming to a close, we wanted to give y'all an update on some of our plans for competitive play in 2026. But before we get into it, there's something we want to mention first. 2XKO will be coming to console in January of 2026. That includes Xbox Series S and X, as well as PlayStation 5. We know how much folks have been waiting to hop in on console, and can't wait for y'all to get your hands on it soon. You can add 2XKO to your Xbox or PlayStation wishlist right now. Since early...
I don't think I would have said that he didn't know Puff at all or wasn't a friend. I think that was a little extreme. I think that was the wrong choice of words. I think that's going to trigger a lot of backlash. But the thing is, I never seen him get backlash at all. So that's what I'm saying. Now he get backlash. Like, when do you know Jay-Z to be on his heels other than when he got beat up in the elevator? But that was nothing. But I've never seen him under the fire ever. Not in a long time. I've never seen people on his head like that before. Ever.
Yeah, this might be my first time seeing people come at him like this.
Like I said, I didn't hear him say anything. Like, I'm not some white man speaking for another black man. Doesn't add up. It just doesn't work like that. Like, he doesn't know what to say on Jay's behalf. Jay would have to say that. So he instructed him to say that? Like, you don't even know if Jay told him to say that. he could have got off the stage and they was like, why'd you say that? He was like, I had to. You know, like he probably said it because homeboy wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? Like I didn't hear him say anything. I haven't heard Jay say a word yet. Have you?
I haven't heard him say anything.
There it is. So y'all going by a piece of paper with words. Don't get caught up in that. I haven't heard him say one thing yet. You know, until I see him speak, he hasn't spoke to me. That's why I said I don't think he did not say that. His lawyer said it. So what else is the lawyer going to say? You know that?
What surprised Dame most is that this is the first time he can remember Jay-Z being pushed into a defensive position. Outside of a few isolated moments in the past, Jay-Z has rarely had to explain himself. Now, for the first time, Dame says the pressure is real and constant. Now, the interesting question here is why 50 Cent seems so focused on exposing Jay-Z. The history with Diddy alone doesn't fully explain it. According to Tony Yayo, the tension between 50 and Jay-Z goes way back, and it's rooted in competition and loyalty. Tony Yayo explained that hip-hop has always been competitive. Artists clash, egos collide, and things can get intense. But at the same time, there are moments when people grow up and move forward. He pointed to a recent show where 50 performed with Dr. Dre, and Cameron showed up and joined him on stage. Years ago, they had issues, but this moment showed maturity. Cameron recently said that Jay-Z loves business more than the culture, and Yayo understood why people feel that way. He pointed out that Jay-Z showed up for major corporate-style events, but didn't show the same support for hip-hop moments that mattered to artists like 50.
And there was one part where 50 was talking, and he was saying, yeah, when Yayo was locked up, every G-Unit show, we actually put aside the money.
Bro, I
For
told
him,
you.
and he had like a, he's like,
I just told
$1
you.
million.
I just told you when I came out of my building, I see the Statue of Liberty. There was no way I was getting shot there. And this is what I kind of tell you is like, we was talking about statues, the Porsche. 50's not going to let you stay to get the Porsche. He's going to say, let's get him out the hood first. You know, if the money's there, but the money has to be there for you to live like that. The money's there. 50 didn't have to do that. Rest in peace to Hervé from Interscope, because he always said to me, man, 50 do more for you than any artist, than anybody does for their artists. More than Jay-Z. Young Guns right there.
Said the big difference between Jay-Z and 50 is approachability. Operates on a very high level, but he's distant. 50, on the other hand, may be just as powerful, but he still shows up for people. He stays connected. Yayo said artists should never forget the people who helped build them up in the first place. Then came the moment that really stuck with him. Yayo said Jay-Z didn't want 50 Cent to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show. According to what he heard, Eminem had to step in and make it clear that he wouldn't perform unless 50 was included. To Yayo, that felt personal.
Well, speaking of Cameron,
Yeah.
he made a statement recently. He said that Jay-Z loves money more than hip-hop. He pointed out that Jay-Z performed at Tom Brady's Hall of Fame ceremony, but he didn't perform at any hip-hop 50 events.
I mean, Jay-Z's on a whole nother level. Like, I mean,
That's true.
he's like it. But you know what I like about 50? 50's on a whole nother level, but he's still approachable. You still get to meet the people and you know, Jay got to remember the people that made him. You know, I'm not saying I don't got respect. I respect Jay-Z, 50. Used to respect, you know, Diddy, but all that crazy shit going on.
He used to respect Diddy, but all that crazy shit he got going on.
You know, the guys. You know what I'm saying? The guys with the most money, the most influence. So with Jay, it's like, when's the last time you haven't seen Jay? So I think people are just going to say that. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I mean, Jay, you know, you got to remember, he didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl. That was crazy.
Wait, Jay didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl? I remember Eminem pushed for it.
That was some crazy shit. Yeah.
I remember Eminem was like, I'm not going to do it unless 50 does it. I heard that.
Yeah, and
but I didn't know that Jay was trying to stop it.
I don't think Jay. I don't know. 50 never told me that, but I don't think Jay wanted to do it. I don't know.
Because of what some of the.
I mean, you know, it's competition. You got to think. 50 always been competition for Jay. Remember, I'm about $1. What the fuck is 50 Cent?
That was a long time.
That was what 9. What?
Yeah, but after that they did a song together.
Yeah, of course. But 50 was always competition for niggas.